Hi there, this is Steve Spurrier. You can join University of Florida Hall of Famer Shane Matthews and also the two-time SEC Player of the Year every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about the Florida Gators, including news, analysis, opinions, and some of the biggest names in sports. You can find him on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Or you can watch him live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter.
Good morning. You're looking live at PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. It's Friday. I want to thank Stephen Spurrier, the head ball coach, for our introduction today. And today we got a good show. We got JC. I mean, that's all you need to know. You got JC. It's a good show. If you missed it last night, 49ers hammer the Giants as anticipated. A little college action. Georgia State. Sean Elliott, the head coach, who used to be an assistant under the head ball coach at Carolina. They go to Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina just ain't the same team. Grayson McCall does not look the same. I thought he got hurt last year, but he does not look like the same player. Congratulations to Anthony Nesty, who was part of our This Day in Sports yesterday, believe it or not. He is going to be your Team USA swim coach for the Olympics in Paris. So congratulations to him. And let's go to the Titan MR hotline. And we're joined by the newest fan of the Tulane Green Wave.
Oh,
Corn Dog.
Well, this begins.
Well, that hat's okay. The logo's great, but why you don't have it on the baby blue?
Yeah, that was a real big decision. I couldn't go. I didn't know if I should go the baby blue because of the wave up here. It's just they're the green wave, but I get it with the baby blue. I totally get it. They're 2-1. They've got Nicholls State. They'll go 3-1. My official campaign to bring them into the SEC and kick out Vanderbilt has begun today on September the 23rd.
Well,
is that what today's?
Your campaign, like I told you, is going to go over like a lead balloon.
Yeah. Well, I'm still going to be that voice hollering for Tulane and asking for them to please get Vandy out. And I think, with this weekend's games we have, QB, we've got finally some matchups this weekend that make sense, that look like it's college football the way it should look. No more of these subsidy games. We've got, some of those are still playing, but the SEC schedule is much more entertaining, I think, this weekend, albeit this game over here across town. Forget about that one. Although I think Gator fans are going to be very excited about
it's sold out, JC. Sold out.
Right. I mean, it's sold out. So the Gator fans have that appetite. This is the third straight weekend that they've got a football game here in Gainesville, and everybody's ready to roll. And I think 7 o'clock makes all the difference in the world, man. I think people love spending the day in Gainesville, doing whatever they want to do to prepare and in anticipation of the football game, regardless of who's in town. They want to watch their orange and blue go up and down the field tonight. I think you'll see that Saturday night at 7 o'clock. I think it's a good tune-up for the Kentucky Wildcats, who also have a tune-up playing Vandy for before that game next week at noon. So, I mean, this is a great weekend here, man. I love Fridays. We got golf tournaments. We've got football. We've got the game in town. Everybody's jacked up. Restaurants are ready to make money. Everybody's ready to do something. And here we are before the day before the game, hoping Florida can show us why they're continuing to progress on all sides of the ball.
Yep, sold out. And wear your orange. The Gators are going to run out of the tunnel in orange helmets, orange jerseys, and orange pants.
Oh,
I don't have a problem with it. Kids like it.
Orange pants.
All orange, JC. Helmet, jersey, pants. All orange.
No, they look like Clemson. They want to be Clemson.
Yeah, well, it's just, these kids like to take pictures and crap in different uniforms, so it gives them an opportunity to do that.
Cool. All right. Listen, if they're going to play well, I don't care what they wear.
Yeah. So Mark says or asks on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law. Shane, have you gotten a chance to watch the Washington Huskies? Offensive scheme and play calling is outstanding. Not this year, I've not. Michael Penix Jr., who started his years in Indiana, he's from the Tampa area, by the way. They are very explosive. They play I think they play Saturday night, late night. I'll get to watch that one. But yeah, they're a very good football team. Dan says, let's vote Vandy off the SEC island.
Yep, I'm with you, Dan. Get them out. They do nothing.
Andy says Shane, Georgia State threw for 466 yards against Charlotte last week.
Yeah.
Merck should have a big night. Yeah, he won't throw for that many yards though.
Well, they just won't let that. They don't do that.
Yeah.
California's playing Washington on Saturday night at 10:30. If you're still awake, QB, you can watch some of that.
I will still probably be in traffic trying to get home from the damn game because where I have to park after we do the post-game stuff, there's only one route that the cops send us. And speaking of my raging yesterday, just for all loyal listeners, appreciate all our IT guys that listen to this program that gave me advice on internet service. We will have new internet by a new provider Monday. I didn't want to. I was too worried because golf and stuff goes on now, starting today with football, and I was like, I don't want to screw it up because at least I can watch a little bit of football if my internet doesn't screw up. But Monday we're going to a different provider because Cox sucks.
So wait a minute. So you have access to another provider than Cox? I thought Cox was like a monopoly. You got another.
No. So everybody told me to do T-Mobile. I'm not doing that. I'm doing AT&T because I have 3 cell phones, my kids and mine. So we're doing we're bundling it all together, JC. They trick you into think you're getting a good deal. So we're going to try the AT&T, and if that doesn't work, we're going T-Mobile.
Okay. Well, I didn't know you had that ability to do
that. Well, you're the one that's the moron paying all that money to Cox.
I am a moron.
I've already told you what to do for your TV.
I fully admit it. But, dude, I just want to get one thing. I get the remote, I hit the button, and I get unlimited amounts of channels, and I just get whatever I want, whenever I want. I can speak into the thing. But I agree with you. Cox is a monopoly. It's crap. But it's all we got. It's kind of like this golf course. It's kind of like the old newspaper that they used to have here called the Gainesville Sun. It's just things like that. It's just things like that. Now the USA Today owns the Gainesville Sun or something like. I don't even know. It's not what it used to be. I remember when I'd get the sports page and I'd have a columnist with an opinion. I'd have all kinds of neat things to read about in the sports page. Now it's just some form letter basically produced by the USA Today. I hope I didn't just anger all of my former friends who were writers, but
they're all unemployed by the Gainesville Sun, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's what it is now. Everybody's going blogging now and going online and streaming and this, that, and the other, as he says.
Stacy says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melton Law, the worst news of the day was Trayvon Diggs tearing his ACL.
So bad.
They're doing one-on-ones at Cowboys practice. Yeah.
Injuries have dominated the narrative in the NFL. It's just unbelievable. I can't get over it, man. 2 weeks, and the injuries just keep piling up and piling up and piling up. It's staggering to me. Have you ever seen it like this? Everybody's dealing with something. Last night, Barkley couldn't play because he had a high ankle sprain. It goes on and on and on. It started with Aaron Rodgers. It just doesn't stop. These injuries just pile up.
I saw a thing like the last 4 or 5 Monday night games, there's been a severe season-ending injury on those games.
I know.
But JC, I meant to ask you. There's 2 more Monday night games this week.
Yeah,
an hour apart. Why the hell are they doing that?
Yeah, that is a really good question because I'm not quite used to that because I like to watch the one Monday night football game, and now I'm kind of flipping back and forth. And I don't even know. I don't know where this movement for 2 Monday night games began. I've never been a fan of the Thursday night game, to tell you the truth. I don't like that. I really don't care for Amazon TV. Don't like that. I don't know what my problem is. I just don't seem to like it. But the Rams are playing the Bengals, and the Eagles are playing the Bucks. So I'm not sure. An hour apart, what this whole point of this is. Maybe this ends here soon. I'm kind of hoping it does. And next week it does because we have one NFL game. Oh, boy, we get to see the New York Giants play again on Monday Night Football next week. I think what they ought to do is flex these games even as early as week 4 because you can tell who's worth watching and who's just not worth watching. And that team that played last night in San Francisco is trash. They're not even going to come close to making the playoffs this year. I don't care who's hurt, who's not hurt. They're not good. And San Francisco just toiled with them. It was bad football.
Let's get some text on the Titan MR text line. Fred says, we are going to look like the Miami Hurricane Stadium by wearing orange, the Gator orange, and the Charlotte 49er green. Yeah.
Well, does anybody show up for the Miami Hurricane games? Although they did have a good
No.
crowd for that A&M game. I think they did okay for that one.
Mm.
They're clearly a better team now. New coaching staff. I like that they're going to threaten in the ACC. I think you've got 4 legitimate teams in the ACC that could challenge for that title, and that includes Miami, Florida State. But I also think you better keep your eye on that damn Duke Blue Devil team with Mike Elko. And if they don't wrap Mike Elko up long term here soon, you know who's going to come calling for Mike Elko?
Michigan State.
You got. And Duke would be nuts to let this guy fly. Just give him an extension, make it 6 years, pay him $36 to $40 million, and he'll never want to leave Duke because he doesn't have to win there. There's no pressure at Duke. And I think he could have a really happy remember, Coach Spurrier won an ACC championship at Duke. They can win there if they get the right guy. And I think they've got the right guy, and they're showing some progress with their facilities finally, kind of like, you know, what you would think if you have an AD that's actually committed to football like Duke now has, because she understands that football pays for everything, including the ability to maintain your basketball program, in my opinion, because Duke gets 8,000 fans at their Cameron Indoor Stadium joint, and you just don't get a whole lot of ticket revenue from that. So I know it's all about television. I get it, but football pays everything. I think the Duke AD, I think her name is Nina something. She's done a great job there. Elko has to be re-signed for the long term.
On the Titan Mar text line, I don't know who this is from. They said, tell JC, forget about Tulane. Let's ditch Vandy for the Tar Heels. Get some of that North Carolina market.
Well, you know, I'm all for taking some of these schools out of the ACC. North Carolina would be just a wonderful addition, but I just can't see any ACC team able to leave before the end of this decade. It's just financially not possible. And unless some Saudi sovereign wealth fund comes up with money, there's no way you're going to get out of that. Just between the exit fee and the fact that you've got to buy back your rights, it's just not going to happen. I wish it would, but it's not. It's absolutely not going to happen. Plus, Sankey has already said we're not expanding in this conference. After Oklahoma and Texas come in, they're going to sit tight at 16, and that's where it's going to be. What I'd like to see, though, is Washington State and Oregon State get into the Big 12 to match the Big 10's 18 teams, because the Big 10's now going to have 18, still call themselves Big 10. The Big 12 should have 18 by adding Oregon State and Washington State. They can call themselves a Big 18. But those two schools need to get in, because you know what, QB? We saw all this rah-rah fanfare about Colorado beating Colorado State, right? It was an overtime game. It was tremendously played. It was one of the most exciting games of the year. Do you know Washington State beat them by damn near 30 points, that same Colorado State team? So I think Wazoo's a team that a lot of folks don't even pay attention to, and I get it, but they're good. And so is Oregon State, and that's going to be one of the games we pick on the Peachland Dental Picks Contest today.
All right, we got to get to a bunch of text and Facebook lives. Asa says, JC, Miami did a 2-for-1 ticket for the A&M game. That's why they had 48,000 in the stands.
Well, hey, you know what? It's discount Saturday. It's like going to Walmart, right? You got the big sale going on, and that's what they're trying to do down at Miami. It's pathetic. But listen, this is a private school with maybe 10,000 students. It's not well covered down there in Miami. They just have to win again to get the bandwagon folks back on board. Without the bandwagon folks, nobody watches Miami football. That's just the reality.
Dan said, did you hear about most of the Oklahoma State team was going to enter the portal after Saturday?
Oh,
I don't know what's going on there, man.
He's lost his team, man. Mike Gundy, how many years has he been there, QB? 20? I don't know, 15? At least. Yeah, he's a man. Remember, he was a man at age 40. And I know he's well into his 50s. This guy's lost the locker room. You're seeing it in broad daylight. A coach lose his team, and a coach who's been there at that school for over a decade. It's really staggering to watch. It's staggering.
I mean, weren't they? Weren't they like a play away, or was that Baylor? Who was in the Big 12 championship game a couple years ago? They were an inch away from moving on to the 14 playoff. Was it Oklahoma State?
I think it was.
Remember that play that ended the game right there on the 1 inch line?
Yeah, I think
so. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Amazing.
Chris says, JC, is Lane finally going to get the better of his former boss? And if so, how long before Bammer start calling for Saban's retirement?
I would have said yes if he went with Simpson behind center, but I think Milroe's going to score points on that defense at Mississippi. And so does Vegas. They've made him a 7-point favorite. I tell you what, though, Lane Kiffin is the name that I would want to replace Nick Saban if that day ever comes, because I believe in Lane Kiffin as an offensive mind and a guy who can organize a program and recruit players. Now, defensively, that's their weakness, and I think Milroe will be successful against Mississippi's defense. So it might happen next week or the week after, but I don't think Alabama loses this week.
Yeah, I don't either. Stacy, this is an interesting question, not just for you, JC, but for all our loyal listeners around the world.
Very loyal.
Says, am I the only one tired of ESPN manufacturing hype for Colorado every day?
Well, but I mean, they've done a pretty good job of that, going 3-0 with a team that went 1-11 last year. I mean, let's face it, Coach Prime is an attraction. Whether you like him or not, it's unavoidable that he's going to garner that media attention. And when you get that media attention and you're successful, then the novelty starts. Look, they had The Rock roll in there last week on game day. Dwayne Johnson. I mean, he comes rolling in there. He's not associated with Colorado. He went to the University of Miami as a linebacker. He played football. Now, Miami used to play Colorado a couple of times back in the good old days for Miami football. But The Rock's over there talking about Deion, man. That you can't understate or overstate, I should say, how effective that could be in recruiting young, impressionable football players, having personalities like this in charge of your program. But having said all that, they're losing by 25 this weekend. And that's
at least
Oregon's
they're I looked at their schedule. They're probably going to win 5 games, I think, now that they've won these 3. But they'll beat Stanford, they'll beat Arizona State.
I think
the rest of them, I'm not sure if they can win or not.
Yeah, that's watch what Oregon does. This Will Stein, this offensive coordinator, he runs these 3-out boundary scheme concepts and these 3-out boundary RPO concepts, and he's got all this offense going on that confuses everybody. They'll score as many as they need to score against Colorado. And I think they can pretty much name their score. I don't know what they'll do defensively, because I believe in this Sanders kid. I think he's excellent.
His kid is really good.
But they're missing one of their best players in Hunter. So Colorado's been a nice story, but I think reality's now. Listen, if they go in there and play with Oregon, and I'm gonna off the screen from that moment on. If they play with Oregon or they somehow pull that upset. But I think the next 2 weeks are going to be it's going to be rough for them. Defensively, they just can't stop anybody. So that's what we're going to see with Southern California and the Heisman Trophy winner and Oregon this week. It's going to be very
good. I just want to, I'm getting all these Cox questions. I only have Cox Internet. I'm a YouTube. I absolutely love YouTube TV. It's the greatest thing ever. Clint on YouTube, by the way.
I like YouTube.
Brought to you by Quality Plumbing.
That's a Google.
Because the only good thing about COVID was we had a great SEC schedule. Why don't they go to 10-game conference schedule? It's beyond him.
They can't even go to 9, Clint. And I agree with you. They have to go to 9. I think they will when Oklahoma and Texas join. But they had trouble getting that voted through just this past summer. I mean, they just don't want to do it. And, look, everybody's kind of tired of watching Georgia beat up Ball State. Everybody's tired of watching Michigan beat up Western Michigan or, whoever, Hawaii. Everybody's tired of watching, Ohio State play Western Kentucky. But this is just part of the college football landscape. That is the reality. But when these conferences change and when these games, when these conferences become bigger, you're going to see these teams play more.
Redwood's a family-owned business that prides itself in excellent customer service while providing quality and affordable promotional products and customized apparel. We're speaking with JC on the Titan Tomorrow Hotline. We're going to get to our picks here in just a second. But JC, I saw something yesterday on Twitter. I screenshot it.
Oh.
And it comes from Booger McFarland. Sometimes Booger says some nut crazy stuff, but I had to screenshot this. You tell me if you agree or disagree, if you've ever heard this before.
Sure.
He says, I don't care what a QB runs in the 40 or how big he is. If he can't anticipate, be accurate, or make good decisions, he isn't a good QB. No ifs, ands, or buts. We need to realize that every time a QB runs with the ball, that's one less time he is reading coverage and learning how to.
Passing is it just
have you ever heard that before?
Yeah, I think I have, and maybe phrased somewhat differently, but basically the same thing. The same concept.
Yeah.
But the thing is, QB, is that these quarterbacks that get drafted out of high school, I don't see as many good passers coming out of high schools these days because they're just so enamored with the flag football mentality.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's it's high school football has kind of started ruining because most high school coaches just put their best athlete back there and they snap it to him, tell him to run around.
That's it.
But
by the way, I just got a text message from Tim out in Denver that says he'll take the 25. I mean, that's not even the line, Tim. The line is 21, but okay, I'll give you the 25. How's
that? Joseph says, y'all better get used to it. Deion is going to be a force as long as he's in the game. It is what it is. Like I said, I have nothing. Deion is winning right now because of his quarterback.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
When he loses that quarterback, you will see if he can really, if they're worth the damn.
You gotta think though, QB, that he's going to recruit kids there. I mean, Colorado.
Well, no, that's true. But what I'm saying is, you may recruit another good quarterback, but I doubt he's going to be as good as Shedeur.
Yeah,
because he's a special player. Yeah. No question about it. Graham on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, says Wilson III looks like another Tony or maybe Harvin. He covers a lot of ground fast. Yeah, he's a tremendous player.
I think he's great. I liked him from that Utah game on. I think he's the best wide receiver Florida has. Just got to make sure he's healthy for the big games coming up. Obviously, they can do without him this weekend. Let him get healthy. I mean, thank God the X-rays were negative. That's a break.
All right, Alan has this question. He says he's asking both of us. Was the hit that injured the player at Colorado, which is Travis Hunter, was it worthy of getting personal threats? No. Even Deion came out. Even Travis Hunter said it's football. That happens.
You have to be the lowest form of life on the planet Earth to threaten somebody's life because of a damn football game or an aggressive play. You have to be the lowest form of life on this planet to threaten a kid who's playing a football game and happen to make an aggressive play that some would think is rather controversial in some sort of fashion. Deion flat out said himself he's trying to be the best player he can be. He totally had nothing but praise for that kid that hit Hunter. Mm-hmm. And Hunter, okay, bad hit, but he'll be back.
Well, Hunter said, I saw a thing Hunter saying that's football. That's
football. Yes, but for these folks to threaten his life, they are the lowest form of life on the earth, below the amoeba. So I totally couldn't believe I heard that story.
Yeah. Somebody had something on here. Let me find. Oh, Chris says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, talking about Justin Fields was blaming the coaches for his poor play. I saw that, and then he tried to backtrack. Let me tell you something. I've said it from day one, and I've been wrong, and I'll admit you when I'm wrong. He cannot play quarterback in the National Football League. I don't know why JC, do you know he was like most people, how do I phrase this? I saw it this summer. The general public had him as like the favorite to win the MVP.
Well, that just shows you something right there. It just shows you a lot of casual fans voting in polls that are stupid. But there's no way he's winning that. Listen, they're going to play Kansas City this weekend, and they're going to get bombed. And the fact of the matter is that when I saw him at Georgia, the reason he didn't play in front of Stetson Bennett and these other kids, because the game's just too fast for him at that position. Is he a great athlete? Sure he is. Absolutely he is. Is he a good fantasy player? Maybe.
No. Not is he a great athlete. He's athletic. Remember? Would you like to get in the argument about an athlete and the word athletic?
He's fast. He can jump.
That's athletic. You think he can hit a baseball? Do you think he can play golf? You think he can play tennis?
I don't know. I mean,
then he ain't a good athlete. He's athletic.
I don't know that. But I mean, I will tell you the kid has talent, but he's not. The game at that position in the NFL is too fast for him. He is not going to be successful at that position. I don't care who you put around him. I just don't think it's going to matter.
He's got good players around him. He cannot play. I'm just telling you. And it's a shame because these people want to blame the damn coaches at the Bears. I don't even know who the coaches at the Bears are, but
isn't it that Nagy guy, or did they fire him?
No, he's back with the Chiefs.
Okay, see, that tells you how little the Bears influence most of our lives. They're just that bad. I mean, until they beat Green Bay, just get the Bears out of they're Vanderbilt, okay? They're the Vanderbilt Commodores of the NFC. They stink. My God, when you let Green Bay beat you with a freshman, with a rookie quarterback.
No, he's been there for 2 or 3 years, right?
He's been there this is his 4th year, but he has never started that I'm aware of. Maybe he has. but he goes in there and throws, just lights up the Bears. I don't know. You tell me. I mean, of course, he didn't complete one pass in the Atlanta game in the fourth quarter, however. So I don't know what happened in that.
Nor asked on Facebook Live, how do we enter the Jeffrey Meldon Gator Custom Eileen shirt contest? All right. If I remember correctly, Nor, we had Jeffrey on last week. Go to both of these sites because he's got a package that he's giving away for the Georgia game too. So I don't know which one's on which, but go to meldonlaw.com and they'll have the contest stuff there. And then also to his Facebook page, Meldon Law.
Well,
so that way you can sign up. JC, you need one of these fancy shirts that he wears.
I love the shirt Jeff Meldon wore on the show and during the commercial break. And I really think he's got a great deal for folks for this Georgia game now, where the excitement is starting to ramp up again for Florida football after that Tennessee game, where you're going to get to go eat dinner at Ruth Chris. You're going to get 2 good seats for the game. And, football by with Billy's signature. I think he's doing a great job promoting Florida football. Good for him. And I really am grateful he's sponsoring our program. Way to go, Jeffrey. And, let's just hope that by the time they play Georgia, they're 6-1. And I don't see why that couldn't be the case. We'll see. Because if they're 6-1, Florida fans are going to show up with expectations. If they're 6-1, I'm just telling you.
Shelby asked on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. What's the word on AR? Any news? I've not heard. Is he playing this week, JC?
So he got a concussion. He's in concussion protocol. That's the only thing they'll say.
Well, then he ain't playing.
Yeah. So if he's in the concussion protocol, he's not going to play. This is why the Colts are 8-point underdogs to Baltimore. They're going to start Gardner Minshew, I would think.
They're pretty good under Gardner, though, man. He moves the team.
They scored. I mean, Anthony scored 2 rushing touchdowns before he got hurt in that game against Houston, but the Colts kept going. And defensively, Darius Leonard, good team, good players on defense. The Ravens are 2-0, but they've got a lot of injuries too. So I would be looking heavily at the Baltimore Colts, at the Indianapolis Colts getting 8 points in that game with Baltimore, because I think the Ravens are banged up as well. So I think it could be a closer game than 8 points, even without Anthony. Maybe even
text
better.
on the Titan More text line from Jimmy. He says, Shane, did you see where Will Greer signed with the Patriots? I did. That's a weird deal. Matt Corral got cut by the Panthers before the season started. Never reported. He's had some depression, some other issues. I don't know where that stands. We got the situation going on with Stetson, so hopefully these young kids get stuff corrected.
I heard Stetson. He's got
Will Greer is going to he'll be a good fit there. Be a good fit.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, Mac Jones can be hurt. He can get hurt. All these guys are getting hurt. It's unbelievable. I can't believe the injuries in the NFL. But QB big day on Saturday. Florida is not one of the featured games, but you're going to have 90,000 fans at the Swamp. Thank God. And hopefully they'll just continue what they do and progress and get ready for that.
Okay. JC, last question, and we're going to get to our picks.
Yep, let's do it.
Well, crap, it went away. Hang on. Let me find it. This is from Alan. He says, Jimbo has had the best recruiting. Oh, where is it? Jimbo has had the best recruiting class. I'm trying to find it. At A&M, and I got the result from those players. Do you guys see him getting axed if it keeps up with the win-loss? I think if Jimbo does not win 9 games, he's gone.
Yeah, well, John James needs to win some games. That's exactly right. And, look, they've got an opportunity this week to beat Auburn, then to play Arkansas, win that game in Dallas, get the ship righted before Alabama comes in. Alabama could be looked at right now as a team that's maybe down. So he's got some opportunities to save himself, John James Fisher. But regardless of whether he does or not, they're not winning the SEC. I would be comfortable saying that, and that's why he's there. So 8 wins isn't even going to be enough for John James Fisher. John James Fisher has to win the SEC, I think, in order to fulfill his extension. And if he doesn't get that done, they'll have the money at Texas A&M. And remember, next year they play Texas, I think. So, my God, with Texas' resurgence, that makes it even worse for John James Fisher down at College Station. It just does.
Yeah. A lot of people on here are blasting Mike Griffith on the Feinbaum show. I don't know what happened there.
He probably just doesn't believe in Florida. I mean, I've heard him on there. He thinks that Florida is, I think, well, he's a Georgia guy. I think he's a Georgia guy.
He's a Georgia beat writer for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
I think, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about this Florida bashing, but he does come out with some very hot takes. Let's just say that.
Okay. All right, JC, let's get to this day in sports. I mean, not this day. Well, let's do this day in sports. What the heck? You okay with that?
Let's do it. What is today, by the way? 22nd?
Yeah, it's
23rd?
brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union.
22nd.
Put some star power to work in your financial life with Campus USA Credit Union. This day in sports, in 1991, Miami Dolphins coach Don Shula records his 300th career NFL victory.
Wow. Who'd they be?
They don't tell me that.
It's good service you got there. Do you pay money for that service?
No, I do not. It's free. It's free. You can look it up yourself.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah. Well, yeah. You ready for the picks?
Yep. This week, Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte surrounding areas. Visit them at peachlanddental.com. All right, we both stink right now.
College football theme music or something while we do this. Get some juice here. Well, look, after last night's 2-0 performance with Georgia State and San Francisco, you've improved to 11-17.
Thank you.
And I've gone to 500. I'm 14-14. We're going to start. We're going to start in the Big Ten with an improved Iowa offense under, I guess his name is Brian Ferentz. Anyways, Kurt's kid. They were so bad offensively last year. They've gotten a little better. They're playing at Penn State and getting 14.5. And I think because of their defense, they can stay inside that number. Penn State should win the game, but I like that.
Wow. That's a big point spread. Both teams are undefeated, right, JC?
Both teams are undefeated. Yep. Big Ten game. That's a whiteout in State College.
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
14.5. Yeah. Penn State is really thought of pretty highly right now. Everybody's
I know
on
they are. I know.
Everybody's on Penn State.
I'll be a sucker. I'll take Iowa. I don't know. I mean, Penn State can win this game 21-0.
Sure. Yeah, but I do think Iowa's a little better on offense. We'll see though. We'll see.
They got the transfer quarterback from Michigan. I forgot his name.
Yeah. But here's a good one.
Cade McNamara, I think.
Transfer quarterback for Wake Forest has landed in South Bend, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And he's getting 3 points at home against a team that I think is vulnerable offensively in Ohio State. I never picked Notre Dame, but I like what I'm seeing out of there, and I'm taking them +3.
The game's in South Bend, right?
That's right. The grass will be this high, dude. So
yeah, they'll slow down Ohio State. Yeah, they've struggled scoring points right now. I'm a big Sam Hartman guy.
Okay, put it down.
So I'll take him. Real quick, Wicked Fresh tells us on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. He says, referring to Mike Griffith, he was taking shots at Billy saying he's boring.
That's kind of what I was getting. I mean, so what? I mean,
yeah.
The second half, honestly, wasn't the most exciting football you've ever seen in your life. But whatever. Winning 26 to whatever it was, that was plenty exciting. Oregon State, man, my two orphans out there in the Pac-2. The two orphans are playing each other on the Palouse. Oregon State and Washington State. By the way, Washington State beat Colorado State by 30. And Colorado had to go to overtime. Washington State's a good team. I like them +3 at home. I know Oregon State's no joke, but I like Washington State at home +3.
Yeah, I'll take the Cougars at home getting the points. We're picking the same games. I may have to just start going.
Well, here's one I know we'll differ on, and I have said Oregon is going to blow out Colorado, but I'm going to give you the Ducks, and I'll take.
Why? You don't have to. I mean, we got a long season. Take who you want.
I'm taking Oregon.
I'm taking Oregon. I think Oregon's going to win this game 49-17 is my guess.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Here's a really exciting game. We've been talking about this for 2 months, but it's finally here. Noon kickoff, which I'm not wild about, but Florida State, playing Clemson. The first time I can remember in years, Clemson is the underdog in this game at home. But that tells you something right there. Florida State's laying 2.5, so they're inside a field goal in this game. You like Clemson still?
I like the Clemson Tigers to win the game. Clemson's got the 8th-ranked defense in America, which, whatever. Florida State's defense is in the 100s. I like Clemson. I think Clemson wins the game.
I'm taking FSU, as you know. Mississippi State is playing down the road in Columbia. My son Jack is driving from Charleston to Columbia with 10 fraternity brothers in a bus. I asked him, I said, do you have life insurance? And am I one of the beneficiaries? He said, yes. I said, okay, have a great time in Columbia. The State Dogs are going to Columbia to play South Carolina. It's -6.5, and they're bringing the old Mississippi State fraternity boys to Columbia. Good God. But
well, can they play offense?
Yeah. You might
Because I'm
want
telling
to.
you right now, Mississippi State has the worst offense in the league. I would take Vandy's over theirs. I feel horrible for Will Rogers. Um, I don't think South Carolina's worth a damn. I really don't. But I think they win big at home.
Okay, I'm laying the 6.5 with you, dude. Mississippi State, that's just a mess right now offensively. Here's another good game. I think, but I'm surprised at this line, but maybe not. I shouldn't be. Arkansas is playing in Baton Rouge on Saturday night in Tiger Stadium. 18 points, though. I think Arkansas can stay inside of 18. I'm going to take the Hogs, even though they lost last week. Disappointing game.
I don't think Arkansas is very good.
Okay. They
don't have Rocket Sanders. They can't stop JC running the football.
They are.
I think LSU can name the score. I just think that I think LSU may score every time they touch it.
18 points, though. Jeez.
Well, that's telling you something. Vegas don't think Arkansas is very good either.
Yeah, that's surprising. But for some reason,
take the Hogs. They may get a couple turnovers and keep you in the game.
That's the way I'm looking at it. Okay, here's Kentucky against the Vanderbilt Commodores. At Vanderbilt, the Kentucky Wildcats with Florida coming in town next week. 12 o'clock game. This will be their first of 2 straight noon kickoffs for Kentucky. Not that that really matters, I guess. But Vanderbilt, 13.5. I'm taking Vanderbilt, and I can't stand that pick. But something about Kentucky is just not rubbing me the right way right now. And I don't. They just haven't looked all that great. Maybe they're holding things back. I don't know what the problem is. I think Vandy can score some points as bad as they are, and I can't stand them. And I wish they get kicked out of the SEC. But I'm taking plus 13.
Yeah, there'll be. I think the stadium, now that it's being under construction, only seats like 25,000.
Yeah, it's not a big problem.
This is going to be one of those games where the Vandy crowd, the time of the game, lulls you to sleep.
Yeah,
Kentucky's going to be looking forward to going home and opening it up with the Gators. Right. Vandy keeps it very close.
Okay. All right, Coach Corso. Auburn, also another one of these ridiculous noon kickoffs, ruins the whole day for everybody, except the announcers and the beat writers. Auburn at A&M, noon, which is 11 o'clock local time. That's just terrible for those fans. I feel bad for them. But Auburn is getting 8. Can Auburn score points on this team? And I don't think they can. I'm taking A&M.
Man, I don't know enough about the Auburn Tigers.
Well, they're 3-0.
Yeah, but they played nobody. Everybody says, I guess we have some SEC music playing that we can't hear, but they said it's annoying. I hope it's not annoying, but JC asked for it.
Zach,
it's your fault, JC.
Well, Zach, I appreciate what Zach's trying to do here. We're trying to get a little
Well, it could sound great. We can't hear it, so it doesn't matter. Golly.
I like it, Zach, whatever.
I think Connor Wigman's a good player. I'm going to take the Aggies in a big win.
Yeah. I think Texas A&M gets some people's attention this week. I agree. Auburn, after watching them play California, I got to see more before I believe in them. Finally, we get to Tuscaloosa, Alabama for the CBS game of the week.
Oh, Nelly.
Oh, Nelly. The Ole Miss Rebels rolling into Tuscaloosa. Mississippi's catching 7. Lane's talking about popcorn and all this nonsense. But Jackson Dart is the 3rd most efficient passer in college football. I believe that's the case. And he's doing fine. But Ole Miss defensively is going to have to stop a guy that I think they'll finally get the right offensive scheme for, and that's Jalen Milroe, the starter now for Alabama. I think the Tide roll, laying 7. I know they're not your daddy's Alabama right now, but I like them in this game. Look, 2 years ago, Mississippi showed up in Tuscaloosa with all the hype, and they got blown out. I don't see if you win in this game.
If Ole Miss is ever going to beat them, this is the year they beat them, but I don't know if they can. I think Alabama gets back to boring, basic, old school Alabama football, running the football. I've seen Ole Miss play. They can't stop anybody. They can't stop a soul.
That's right.
They're going to score some points, but if you shut them down and you get ahead of them, I'm going to go with Alabama. I mean, could you imagine our show from Monday, JC, where with Clemson and Alabama, 2 of the premier dominant programs of the last 15, 20 years, have 2 losses, and we're only four weeks into the season? I just can't see it happening. No. I think Alabama wins by double digits.
I'm with you there. God, I hope so. But we'll see what happens. They've got to get better on the offensive line, defensive secondary, all these things. Okay, we get to the give me the score of the Florida Charlotte 49ers game, QB.
I'm going to go 45-13.
So that would be a cover. It's 40. The line is 27. That gets you to 32. I'll go with that. I'll go with 49-13. So I and you both think that the Gators will cover the 27. In the NFL, quickly, we've got 3 games. Denver and their dysfunctional team playing at Miami. It is frosty in Denver right now. Folks are not happy.
Boy, Sean Payton threw Russell Wilson under the bus in a press conference I heard. He says, our quarterback can't get the plays called, so we'll have to band them up. Meaning he can't recite what Sean Payton's saying, so they're going to have to let him read it. I don't even know what the line is. I'll take the Dolphins.
6.5. Take Miami.
I'll take the Dolphins.
The crowd's going to be into it down there. I love Miami. Houston is playing at Jacksonville, 8.5 there. That's a lot of points for a Jaguar team struggling on offense. I think I'm taking Houston.
I'll take CJ Stroud has not played poorly if you look statistically, but
Nico Collins.
I think this is the week that the Jags get it going. I'll take the Jags.
Right. Okay. I hope I'm wrong there. We've got the Saints on up at Lambeau. Jordan Love's home debut. Packers are 1-1. The Saints are 2-0. Maybe the best defense other than San Francisco's in the NFL. They are nasty, aggressive. They will put some pressure on Jordan Love. I like New Orleans to get the road win. They're getting 1.5 too.
Who dat, baby? Who dat? I think they're a very good team. I think Derek Carr is playing good ball. Yeah. I don't know when they're going to get Alvin Kamara back, but give me
this weekend.
Give me the Aints rolling into Lambeau for the win.
Saints will get Kamara back next week. It was a 3-game suspension. And then on Monday night, we have Philadelphia Tampa. You want to wait till Monday to do that one?
Yeah, let's wait till then. We kept you too long, JC. I forgot. But you boost our ratings, JC, when you're on.
I like to think that. I appreciate everybody watching. Have fun this weekend. Be safe. Don't get in trouble. Have a good time. Let's keep the injuries down and get ready for that SEC game up in Lexington.
Hey, real quick, do you agree with Cliff what he says right here? He says Lane will do something dumb, like going forward on 4th down from his own 20 and lose the game.
There you have it. There you have it. I mean, he has got to quit doing that thing that puts his team in bad positions to win the game.
Yeah.
I mean, why does he do those things? I don't know why, but it doesn't make him look good. Even if he succeeds, it doesn't make him look good. Those are bad decisions on the road in the SEC. Maybe he feels like he's got to take chances because of who he is or where they are or what they are.
Well, I don't think he should this year because it's not like you have a Tua or a Jalen Hurts or Mac Jones on the other side. This is not a normal Alabama explosive offense. So he's going to have to throw the damn book of analytics. Don't even bring it to Tuscaloosa. Leave it in Oxford and play smart football to keep his team in the game. So, all right, JC, enjoy the games. We'll talk to you on Monday.
See you guys. Have a good weekend.
That's JC joining us on the Titan Tomorrow Hotline. Going to take a quick timeout, come back. Got a million texts, Facebooks, YouTubes I want to get to. Y'all have me the rest of this show, folks. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. We'll be right back. We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official injury and accident law attorneys of the Florida Gators. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Campus USA, put some star power to work in your financial life with Campus USA Credit Union. Dave & Buster's, eat, drink, play, watch. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Silverback Concrete, Ruse Ogre State Farm Insurance, Radware, F45, Quality Plumbing. Our touchdown sponsors are Adams Ribs, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteak, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Dowling Signs, Baker Sporting Goods, Silver Q Billiards and Sports Bar. If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352-284-3733. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Attention all Gator fans, Meldon Law is giving away a chance to experience the Florida-Georgia game like never before. 2-night stay at the Hilton on the River, dinner at Ruth Chris Steakhouse, 2 premium tickets to the game, and a football signed by Coach Billy Napier, and much more. Go to the Meldon Law Facebook page and look for the VIP experience for 2. Good luck and go Gators!
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Silverback Concrete is a family-led team of heavy concrete specialists that build commercial structures with unrivaled quality. Silverback Concrete, you stand on it, we stand by it. I want to thank JC for joining us on the Titan Number Hotline. We have a good time with our picks. Russ asked, where is Kamari Wilson? I don't know. Andy says he's overweight. He's not even listed on the depth chart anymore. I haven't been able to get out to practice this week. But it's I don't know. I really don't know. Let's see. Alan says, I was watching the sportscast on the local news this morning up in Tennessee, and one broadcaster asked him, what did the Vols do wrong in the Gator game? And this thing goes away. He said they did everything wrong. They didn't play great. They didn't have a good plan. They had a lot of penalties. I mean, their game was very similar to how Florida's game went up in Utah. However, I wish we could play that Utah game again, but just without the dumb special teams penalties, who knows what might have happened. Van Der says, I'm going to like this. This is going to be the Shane and Van show. I don't know what that means either. I have no idea. YouTube brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Baron71 says this Colorado team did not go 1-11 last year. This Colorado team is 90% transfer. It's hard to win more. It's not hard to win more than one game. Look, take nothing away from what Deion's done. I think it's outstanding. I don't think they're a very good football team. I think Travis Hunter's a very good player. I think his son Shadur is an outstanding quarterback. But the 3 teams they beat are garbage. I don't know if those 3 teams will win a total of 6 games combined. So, like I said, you'll find out about Colorado when they roll into Eugene, Oregon tomorrow. And I don't know what time that game is. Andy asked, any news on the XFL USFL merger? No, I know nothing about it, Andy. I didn't even know there was even talks the other day until somebody texted me about it. Barron also said, I only like the all orange look if we're playing Kentucky. Promote our orange since Kentucky is known for their blue. We'll be wearing all white in Lexington next week. Van Der says, Shane, if there's any black quarterback that you believe can play the game. Dude, I just said Shadur Sanders. I think he's outstanding. Pat Mahomes, outstanding. Look, everybody can have their own opinions on things. Whether you're black, white, green, yellow, black, or whatever. It doesn't matter. You can either tell if a guy can play or not. And you can sit here and talk about athleticism all you want. I ain't got a damn thing to do with playing quarterback. That's the facts. It's the facts. Booger McFarland, who is black, who played in the NFL for a long time, I will read to you once again what he stated. Let me pull it up. I don't care what a QB runs in the 40 or how big he is. If he can't anticipate, be accurate, or make good decisions, he isn't a good QB. No ifs, ands, or buts. We need to realize that every time a QB runs with the ball, that's one less time he's reading coverage and learning how to do it. Facts. Facts. So there. Karen says, always happy. Go by and see Shane at the Right Union. Yeah, come by and see me and Steve tomorrow. We'll be there. Is tomorrow's kickoff at 7 or 7:30? We're 4 hours before. So anyway, look, like I tell people on this show for the last 3.5 years we've been doing, I don't know a whole lot about things in the world, but I do know about quarterback play. I was an average, below average NFL guy because I wasn't big, strong enough. I was not drafted, but I know what it takes to play that position. And I will tell you right now, I agree with 1,000% what Booger McFarland just stated because I say it on this show every freaking day. If you can't throw completions, anticipate, be accurate, those general managers are wasting their time and they're going to be fired. It's that simple. They will be fired. Chad says, have you heard how Andrew, I don't even know how to pronounce his name, is doing? The tight end from Washington. He's dang sure looks the part. I don't even know who that guy is. Is he on our team? Never heard of him. I don't think we have a player by that name. 7 p.m. So I'll be in the bookstore from 3 to 4. Thank you, Andy. Van Der wants an upside down number 9 jersey from the Redskins. I don't have him. They sold them all out or burned them. They probably burned them. That's what they. Oh boy. 1966 HBC beer available at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Gator Games in the Swamp, and select retail outlets. Crisp American Lager. 1966 HBC beer. Go get you some. Again, if you missed it, Anthony Nesty, former Gator swimmer back in the late 80s. He was there when I was there, from like 88 to 92-ish. Will be the United States Olympic swim coach for the 24 Olympics. So congratulations to him. And we've had him on. We'll have to get him on again once football season's over. So I just had a text here and I can't find it. I wanted to read it. It was a good one. Let me see if I can find it. Bear with me, people. Daryl says on his text on the Titan MR text line, for the tailgating, it's the old rabbit ears for TV, sometimes satellite. Yeah, nowadays it's some fancy stuff out there. So yeah, I got another text here. It's a 7 p.m. start in the Swamp. It's great that it's another sellout. Now that doesn't mean every seat's going to be full, but that means they sold every ticket. So if you're not using your tickets, all fans out there, give them to somebody so they have an opportunity to experience the Swamp. This is usually one of those type of games, even though it's a night game. If it's a day game, you'd see more kids there. But if you're not going to use your tickets, give them to somebody so they can get to experience everything. Andy says, Sonny Jurgensen had all my jerseys burned. There's no question about that, Andy. No question. Oh, good old Sonny. Good old Sonny. So I'm anxious. This is a great weekend of college football. No question about it. Some really good games. And it kicks off at noon, Florida State, Clemson. I'm curious. I would think most of the Gator fans are hoping Clemson wins this game. I think Clemson does, just because it's at home. Jerry says here on Facebook Live, hey, Shane, I thought about Frazier's would be a big part of the offense. What's going on with him? He's just he's a special teams guy. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, I thought the best receivers on the team were number 1, 3, and 4, and we need to play them. We did. Unfortunately, Trey's been hurt. So Khalil's going to get a little more playing time. I think you will see Mizell and Andy Jean work their ways back into the lineup as the season progresses. They'll get them on the field. Here's a text here on the Titan MR text line from Jonathan. Shane, when Graham Mertz exits the game Saturday night, who will be the next quarterback in? It'll be Jack Miller. We'll see how quickly we get ahead. Maybe we get some explosive plays and can jump on somebody real early to get the backups in sooner. But remember, Charlotte has, talking about transfers now, Charlotte has 60 new players from the transfer portal on their roster. They have a lot of guys from the Michigans. They have a few transfers from Alabama. They have some decent defensive front guys. So remember, we're missing 3 starters. So we got some backups going to be playing, get some good time. So hopefully we don't sput around early. Andy says, Shane, you need to get Nesty on your show again. He has a gal coming in, Bella Sims, who will be the next Katie Ledecky. Oh, wow. That'd be great. Everybody keeps asking what's going on with Kamari Wilson. I have no idea. No idea. I would probably suggest that the other guys are better than him. Meaning, I don't care if he's a 5-star from IMG or wherever he came from. If Billy them, they're going to play their best players. John says, I'm rooting for FSU so we can ruin their season again. Well, that's true. I can see that, but I want those jokers to lose every time they can. So anyway, hope you enjoyed today's program, folks. Should be a great weekend. We'll recap it all on Monday. We'll see.